What do we got going on today?
We got a few action today. A few things. There's
a little pop of color.
Variable kings. These are vivid line animals. Some Lucy Texas rats.
It's pretty striking when we go from orange to
Wow.
orange to pink. Soon to be white. And we had a runner.
We're gonna have to help some animals in here. Like this ghost right here. This happens where their hole isn't big enough. And so, see how swollen he's getting choked?
Yeah.
He's getting choked right there. So we just help him out a little bit.
Decides to go back in rather than hurry and escape. So what do we have here? We've got bulls.
These are the genetics are Stillwater hypo and Miami County axanthic going on. So we get some hypos and ghosts in here. This is a hypo, not the prettiest one, but still pretty cool. We're gonna make sure these other ones can hatch out. I already know what's hatched. It took like 3 days to hatch. Hopefully you can, oh, there he is. There's a little hognose, that's it.
Quite small. What do we got going on?
We got a bunch of stuff hatching out today. We should just dive in and check it out. I think that's the best way to go about this. Half this clutch, you know what, I'm gonna bring him over. This is a clutch we were doing with solid serpents, and we got a nice little surprise. We got some normals with very nice pattern, but look, we got a snow, we got some albinos, and we even got some T-positive albinos, like that purple.
Now, are these San Diegos?
These are all San Diegos, yes. So we got, there's even an anery in this, so like a very nice variety.
Some of that green showing
and
up.
I don't know
heads.
what's going on with this animal. Is super pale, like
wow.
It's different than these other two albinos in here. And this is a dye. This is a dyer. This is a dyer, and that's a dyer. But then we got this. Really, I love this pattern. That busy little polka dots. That's neat. Right there. So this was a clutch that we did with solid serpents. We did a McSnow, which is a McGurdy albino, and anery. Obviously, it was het for Bechtel albino and dyer albino. And I knew the dyer was in there. And when you have the dyer, you almost always have the Bechtel albino. They go hand in hand a lot of the time. So they've been interlinked for 3 decades, maybe 4. So that's why they just kind of tend to pop out.
All right, we got moonshine rats. Genetically, what do we have going on?
I'm not sure what the moonshine is. It's a single genetic. I'm not sure how to even label this. It's maybe some form of hypo. I
was going to say, we have like normal looking ones. We have hypo looking ones.
I would have to look into it. I'm not exactly sure what a moonshine would be categorized as, but
They've always got the coolest eyes.
All right, we got a bunch going on in this. Like, we got some Cal Kings, some 50-50 Cal Kings.
Got a lone gray band over here.
That's a Juneau Road Alterna. This is a Christmas Mountain locality albino Sonoran. This is the first time for me.
Very nice.
This is just a Red Bull. But
only a Red Bull.
I mean, look how dark that thing is.
Yeah. Amazing contrast already.
We got some gray bands. Some Highway 277s. One poking its head out, one's out.
Look at that black nose. And we've got one pippin down here.
And these are albino bulls, and this is kind of a project. These are amazing. Like, I can tell this albino. These are what the project was is an albino patternless bred to an albino Red Bull, and the albino Red Bull was a very extreme red, and so you're seeing a little bit of red influence in these, but the project is breeding these back together and getting a patternless, red albino patternless.
Wow.
So that's what we're
now.
aiming
Do those
for.
exist out there to your knowledge already?
Not to my knowledge, but wouldn't surprise. I know there's probably some out there. I'm pretty sure someone's working on this, and you can do. It's kind of good to have several outlets on the same project, so you can create some diversity. So, but this one, I can tell there's some red influence in that animal.
Very vibrant purples already on some of these. For having not even shed yet, just been born. There we go. Get a little fire out of one here.
I want to show you that these hatched out yesterday. This is
this looks like a gopher, a Great Basin.
This is the Great Basin. This is the Phelan California blonde locality. Just super clean.
Very clean, and they just get lighter and brighter as they get older.
They gain yellow.
So we're down to very little left to go at this point.
I mean, we still have stuff. We have a lot of Sonorans and San Diego's still coming, but
mostly Sonoran San Diegos. Are the bulls pretty much tapped out at this point? They're pretty
close. There's a little bit.
A few more?
There's a little bit here and there. But
lots of albino stuff.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'm Mike.
I'm John.
This is Snake Envy, and we are joined by John's daughter, Olivia. So we're going to talk about this girl in a minute, but Olivia, what's something, even if it's just kind of irrational or silly, but what drives you nuts in the hobby when you hear or see something? What bugs you?
One thing that bugs me is when people confuse venomous with poisonous. Everyone is always like, is that snake poisonous? And I'm like, no, it's venomous. So the difference between venomous and poisonous is poison is ingested, venom is injected. So that's where a lot of people get like misconceptions of the two.
Yes.
So you can actually, as long as you don't have any like sores in your mouth or ulcers in your throat or your stomach, you can actually drink snake venom and it'll just process right through you. I mean, probably isn't good for you if you did it a lot, but like it's not gonna affect you like if you got bit and it got injected in intravenously, right?
Exactly right. And yeah, it's a common misconception. Now I'm betting though, like if you see that online, you politely correct. Yeah, and you educate.
It's more of the expos where she does the correcting.
Yeah, I get really frustrated at the expos because everyone's like,
Yeah, every
are
other.
these poisonous?
I've been
And I'm
about ready to
no.
get her a hat made that tells everybody.
No, none of the snakes here are poisonous, and even if they were, they would be venomous. Yes. Yeah, you're right. At expos, every other person that walks up, any of these poisonous? No.
The same thing
Yes, the
happens
snake
with
in my hand
tarantulas,
is
too.
deadly.
It's a breath of fresh air though when, you know, a young kid or hell, even these days an adult
Yeah,
comes up and asks if they're venomous, and it's like, wow,
yeah,
you read something and remembered what you read.
yeah. All right, John, same question. Doesn't even have to be like a rational thing, but like just what bugs you?
Mine is probably people that just follow trends and they pick, you know, one breeder or keeper to look up to, regardless where they live in the country, if it's anywhere near them, if the conditions are even anywhere near the same, and they create their own personal care sheet off of what that other person does rather than their own experience and creating it for themselves. I've had people that you know were born 20 years after I started working with snakes argue with me about things that don't apply to me whatsoever based off of the environment that I live in and the way that my snake room's set up. And then what they're arguing about that they took from their hero, their one person they look up to, it shouldn't apply to them either because, you know, they don't live in the same area and you know, it's way more humid where they live or way more dry or whatever. But people need to do their own research. They need to learn by trial and error, and they need to create their own care sheets and go off of that. And no two are the same. I mean, right here in Utah, within the 20-mile radius of each other, Mike, Jason, and myself, our setups are completely different. Like completely different. And it's because that's what we've made it. We've made our own recipe. We made it for ourselves, and it works.
Well, and it fits our homes and this room here, and that's what we talk about on the channel a lot. Is every snake room is its own unique habitat.
Yeah, it is.
And the other thing you were telling me that I agree with 100%, when you sell someone a snake as a breeder, and then all their questions go to somebody else.
Yeah. But then all the negative feedback comes back to you, and you have to defend yourself over something that doesn't need defending, shouldn't need defending.
Right. Do yourself a favor and reach out to your breeder first, and they can give you the best advice. So,
but
the best advice is often
figure it out yourself too.
Your room is different than mine.
Yep. What's yours?
Mine, and again, you know, not the biggest thing in the world, but it really bugs me. Number one, the snake identification groups online. Sometimes they are the most condescending and rude people to people who are just trying to learn. In my book, there's 2 rules for snake identification. One, it should be local. Like don't go to a national group, because what you're going to find is 1,000 questions about rat snakes and nothing about the snakes you have where you live. And your goal should be to identify the snakes where you live. Now, obviously, if you're going to travel, do whatever, yes, you can go to other groups. But snake ID should be local. Even, variations within species. Like if you go north and south through the range of like cottonmouths and timber rattlesnakes, they get darker as you go north. They're lighter as you go south. And a lot of the clues people are going to give you aren't even going to really matter if you're going from state to state. So it should always be local. And then the second rule is never use a single identifier to identify a snake, particularly if you're trying to identify a venomous snake. So that leads to my irritation, which is, why is the hobby obsessed with getting rid of the rhyme to identify coral snakes? For those who don't know, red on yellow kills a fellow, red on black, safe for Jack. There's some variations on how you say it, but the bottom line is red on yellow, coral snake. Now, coral snakes, again, they vary. If you go into the southwest, that yellow is typically going to be replaced by white or off-white. It's not necessarily going to be the bright yellow that you see in the southeast. But same rule applies. This milk snake, by the way, we're going to talk about her a little more in a minute, but the red and black are touching and not the red and white. So whether it's a shade of white or whether it's yellow, in the United States, red touching anything but black could potentially be dangerous on a banded snake. Now, here's my irritation. The people who are, really rude and condescending to people who bring up the rhyme, even if the photo of the coral snake in the picture fits the rhyme, it's clearly
They'll still argue about it.
They will still jump down that person's throat and say, how dare you bring up the rhyme, even if the snake fits the rhyme. They have two reasons for it. One is aberrancies. Yes, aberrancies in the wild exist. What I find interesting is most of the pictures of aberrant corals still have red on yellow. It's just maybe the break between the bands isn't clean.
It still touches.
And the red and yellow are kind of bleeding together, but it's still red, still a red on yellow snake. Yes, there are some out there that are crazy, don't look anything like the traditional banded pattern. Yes, those snakes exist. But here's my question. If aberrancies completely undo the use of a identifier that's going to be good 95% of the time, then what identifier is good? I only hear the complaints about the rhyme, no other identifiers. I'll give you one example. Copperheads in the southeast, they typically have a Hershey Kiss shape saddle, and that Hershey's Kiss shape is one of the identifiers that everybody uses. Well, there are copperheads that have aberrancies, and their pattern's all messed up. Why aren't we jumping down everybody's throat about never say Hershey's Kiss?
Well, here's an example. If you're going just off of one physical trait, what's the most common one used to identify a rattlesnake?
The rattle.
The rattle. Okay, so if the snake's out basking on the road at night and it gets ran over and its rattle gets knocked off, is that no longer a rattlesnake? They can just go up and pick it up because it didn't have a rattle?
And I get it. There are some rattlesnake species that have very tiny rattles. There are, yes, they can be broken off. But that's my point. If an aberrancy can ruin the rhyme, then what identifier is a good identifier? The second reason, and this is the one that really drives me nuts, that people are obsessed about the rhyme, is that once you get out of, like northern central Mexico and you get into the rest of Latin America, corals can be anything and everything. And so this is what you hear all the time. You got a guy in Alabama who's asking about a snake, and somebody says, don't you dare mention the rhyme, because don't you know, John, there are blue coral snakes in Honduras or whatever country it is. And I'm like, the guy in Alabama has no concern about what coral snakes look like in Honduras. He just wants to know if the one in his backyard is safe. So it happens in the hobby a lot where people just want to show off their knowledge about aberrancies and about coral snakes in other countries. All you have to do when the rhyme comes up is just remind people, United States only, to be safe, and always have a second or third identifier to back you up just in case you're dealing with and aberrancy. I've seen highly aberrant corals, for example, in photos where the very wide yellow band that literally goes up to the eye. It starts on the eye rather than the neck. That's one of the good identifiers for corals. I've seen completely aberrant bodies where that band is spot on, you know. So anyway, maybe it's dumb. I know I'm in the minority because it seems like the hobby is obsessed with trying to eliminate this rhyme. But I say we're missing an opportunity. We're missing an opportunity to just educate people politely and say, just remember, U.S. only, banded snakes only. There are harmless snakes in the United States that have red on yellow, but they're typically not banded snakes. It's more of a, you know, saddle pattern or things of that sort. So only in the United States, and always use multiple identifiers. If you just do those two things, the rhyme is going to serve you very well 95% or more of the time.
The fact of the matter is, if you don't know what it is,
leave it alone.
Get away from it. You just don't touch it. Like
that should be that is the third rule of snake identification. If you're unsure, leave it alone, and then you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, because I mean, like with us, we could stumble across the most aberrant coral snake ever. It was so aberrant, the bands were flipped, and it looked like this. We'd still be able to identify it as a coral snake instantly. I mean, just by the way it crawled. I could identify it doing 60 miles an hour down a freeway at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, when we road cruise at night, we know what the snake is in the road before we even get out of the car.
I can identify a snake, a species that's been dead for 2 days, that's pancaked in the road, doing 70 down the freeway at night.
Yeah, with experience, you don't even have to know the identifiers. You just look and you say, oh, I know what that is. Mm-hmm. But the people trying to learn, we're making a mistake by being so condescending, so rude, and just use the rhyme as an opportunity to just clarify a couple things about it, and then you'll further educate. But to me, it is just stupid to throw away an identifier that is going to be right 95% of the time or more. If you're going to do that, then what identifier is still good? Yeah. None of them are.
None.
All right, let's talk about this gal real quick. Sinaloan milksnake. This is part of Jason's collection. I don't think she has bred yet. I could be wrong, but I don't believe she has. When she does breed, potentially her offspring are going to be worth a little more because she's about to be a movie star. So we will keep you guys updated. I'm hoping the producers of the film won't object to us doing a little YouTube filming while I'm down there this weekend and next weekend. But she is going to be starring, if there's any Resident Evil fans, she's going to be starring in the latest Resident Evil film. And it's part of their Biohazard series, if you're familiar with it. So she's going to be playing, you know...
Let me guess, the role of a coral snake.
No, even better.
What?
A newly discovered, highly dangerous python.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Not python. Why do I have python on my brain? Viper. So she's going to be a newly discovered species of viper. I know in the snake world we always get a little annoyed by the snake choices in movies.
Yeah.
But it's far better than CGI to use a live snake. So anyway, I'll be helping out the production with this gal next weekend, or this weekend and the weekend after. But we hope to show you guys a little more footage coming up of her experiences in the movie and that whole process. So look forward to that. Jason is on vacation right now, so we are also here seeing what's going on with the new hatchlings. So let's go take a look.
Let's do it.
Anything today?
A few things going on today. Let's take a peek. We got some albino locality Christmas Mountain Sonorans. Look at that pattern.
Wow.
That's kind of cool.
Nice purple right out of the gate.
Got some Cal Kings, some Juno Road gray bands. So kind of a fun little box here.
A hodgepodge. Nice.
Some albino bowls. Very orange.
Very orange. Some nice purples.
These are from our wild caught Texas rat.
Such a beautiful adult.
Well, even these babies are pretty striking.
They're going to be nice.
Oh, and right next to that, we got some albino applegates pop, just starting to crack through. Right here.
Yeah, we do.
We haven't even got a look at them yet, but
These are Applegate San Diego gophers.
yep, these are supposed to be some of the best I've ever produced. So maybe tomorrow.
They're going to tease us.
Yep.
The biggest bushmaster they'd found,
Really?
but no Cribos.
The bushman. How big? Ours was only 4.
4 feet. This one was more like trying to. It was like
A new day.
a new day, some new stuff hatching,
let's-
and some of the same. But like, we'll get to
Yeah.
some of these cool gopher snakes that are popping out. But first, we have right here. We got a couple Juno Roads. Gosh, they're really nice this year. I mean, big Blair saddles.
Yeah, I love those head patterns on Junos as well. They're always nice. Love it.
It's got a really cool head stamp. Look at that.
Yeah.
I've never seen one like that. Gosh, that is pretty. I need that in my life.
Might be-
Look how high up his bat that goes up on his head, though. I've never seen one. Look at it's
Oh,
way
wow.
back there, but look how high that goes up.
Yeah, the saddle
That's
is like
cool.
past the neck.
I like
That's
that.
interesting.
That is pretty cool.
Very interesting.
All right, let me put these away real quick. Ah. And then we have some Sonorans hatching. Well, I first opened this and I took a glance and I thought that was an albino and I'm like, what the heck? But this is not an albino. This is a rusty. And look at these eyes. Look how dark they are.
Rusty Maker.
Rusty? I owned him? No. What's his name?
Rusty.
Why wasn't his older?
All right. We'll come back to this in a minute.
How many 3 big eggs?
Those are big, huh?
Got a couple more Pippin.
There we go. Some normals in here. So these are Texas rats and albino Applegate gophers, San Diego's, and
Nice. Got some Applegates. We were hoping these were hatching yesterday and they weren't quite yet. Man,
that's
look
gonna
at
be
the orange on that head.
that's gonna be a lot of white, especially on this one in particular.
What's this one?
That's gonna have a ton of white. Look at all that,
Yeah.
and especially back down here.
Oh, what's this? I find this one squawking. Why him does that? What's doing that? Doing my squeaks. Weird.
Some rat snakes in there with them.
I have a small clutch of Pacific gophers that I'm super excited about. It might be the highlight of the year, so we'll see what happens.
So coming in the next few
Yep,
days.
some new stuff.
Fantastic. All right, John, let's see what we got going on.
Let's see what's in the first one. So this says there's 2 clutches in here, white-sided stuff and envy snow stuff. So that's
yeah.
always exciting.
Envy Snow, we have
So,
been
Olivia,
looking forward
You
to.
want to do the honors?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
There's
well,
a
that
dead
sucks.
envy snow.
That one doesn't look good.
Oh, that's
stillborn.
sad. Oh,
and the others are a little defensive.
So here we've got a hypo. Well, yeah, that's a nice looking snake. So this is one half of the envy snow ingredients. The other half would be a axanthic or anthristic.
Very nice.
And then that's a nice albino.
Very nice. So John, it's not particularly common. I don't see anything obviously wrong with the snake. He looks a little thin. They don't typically make it all the way out of the egg and then die.
I don't see that very often at all. I mean, I've had stuff that was pretty much full term and never pipped, and when I finally cut it to check on it, dead in the egg. But I don't remember ever having one that fully emerged and then rolled like this. And it seems like perfect. It's not kinked up anywhere.
No.
It's not inside out anywhere.
It's a little thinner than the others, but that could be dehydration,
It
like
doesn't-
maybe if it came out yesterday or something.
It doesn't have any deformities on its head. Yeah, I don't know what would have caused that. It sucks though, because that's a good looking snake.
Yeah, great snake. And unfortunately, that's part of the deal. You know, you're going to lose some here and there.
Yep. So we got here. Nice.
Pacifics.
So some striped Pacifics. These are Sonoran eggs.
Nice striper there.
Really nice looking. I have no idea what that is. Some kind of T positive.
So we've got either a T positive albino or a hypo.
Yeah, some T positive hypo something or other.
Pacific gopher. So this is the same clutch that stripe was in.
Jason will have to identify that. I don't know what morph that is. I don't remember ever seeing. It's like a caramel albino.
Yeah.
Huh.
Very nice.
Yeah. So this is a rusty forks combo on the Sonoran gopher. Nice.
Ah, we got a super there.
Yes, we have a super forks. And then a couple just forks normals. You can see some cool aberrancies. That one's got a neat neck stripe. Actually, both of them do. And then it's an incomplete dominant trait, so this is the super forks, which is the homozygous version of the trait, and then these would be the visual heterozygous versions.
And then a normal.
Yep. Some more. Oh wait, nope. These are meekers. So another Sonoran gopher mutation. And the meekers look very similar to the super forks, and they also have rusty in there.
What a variety.
Beauties.
Wow.
Oh yeah, look at this. So there's a rusty meeker. And there's a rusty. And then here's a meeker.
Very nice.
Really similar to the look of some of the Gopher Gulch Great Basins.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, particularly with these where you end up with kind of that tiger striping instead of the traditional pattern. Man, that one's
Check
got
this
kind of
one
a
out. It has
conda.
like diamonds down its back.
It's a
That's cool.
Almost a little conda looking there.
Yep.
Interesting. It's down on the tail too.
But then this, with this look, it's kind of an anomaly because this is a recessive trait, whereas a lot of snakes that look like this, that have that, motley conda gene, they're usually incomplete dominant. Whoa, feisty little thing.